Hi, I'm Rick Dior, and I'm here today to talk about some large ride cymbals. So I have several large ride cymbals, and by large ride cymbal, I mean a cymbal that's over 22 inches. Normally, a ride cymbal can be anywhere from 18 inches to 22 inches. That's sort of the standard size. If you're playing jazz or rock or anything, 20-inch ride being the most common. But I have lots and lots of 22s, and I also have a lot of 24s. So this is one of my favorite 24s. It's an old 1950s A Zildjian ride. Back in those days, they made them a lot thinner. So this is a very, very thin ride. Almost looks a little bit hand-hammered. Okay, so it's got that big, giant stamp, the A Zildjian stamp from back then. It's got a great bell, so. And it's not that big. I mean, it's pretty big, but you can easily gig with it, and I do. I gig a lot with these larger cymbals. When you carry them around, you can get a Gong bag. Lots of companies make those, and those can go up to 30 inches. I do have a 30-inch ride, Zildjian A, that I'm going to show you in a little while. That's the biggest cymbal I own. But these, when I carry them out, I'll put them in a small padded Gong case. Now this one right here, I have a couple of these Bosphorus Flat Rides. This is a 26. I also have a 24 and a 22. These are heavier flat rides. This one weighs about 3,700 grams. So it's a very, very heavy cymbal, but it's a light sounding cymbal. It's actually big enough and loud enough to be a main ride cymbal, although it's a flat ride. And some of you have asked me what it sounds like when you play in the bell area of a flat ride. Here's what it sounds like. So it does not sound like a bell at all because there is no bell, but it is a little bit drier. It's the thickest part of the cymbal normally if it's a flat. Now right here to my right, I have another flat ride. This is a Masterworks 26-inch flat, and I have some rivets on here. So I don't want to drill this cymbal because I really like it. So I use this old camber riveting device here. I'm going to fold it up. You see what it sounds like without it. So this one's really thin. It's probably around 2,500 grams, but remember, that's for a 26-inch cymbal, which is extremely thin. You see it waving here, doing that whole dance. Okay, so these are wonderful cymbals, and they're also not too expensive, the Masterworks. They have a really kind of interesting sound, like a wash that happens underneath. love these cymbals because you could really smack them and they don't get too loud. They don't overload. Something like this cymbal would really overload. Kind of like playing with Jimi Hendrix, you know. That bashing Mitch Mitchell kind of sound. So these are great for that. So I really like the really large flat rides because they're a lot louder than the normal flat rides, and I gig a lot with these cymbals. All right. Also, like I said, you can pop rivets in them, or you can use this machine here, and you can also use a chain. These were made by a company called Camber. I have several of them. You can also find them used. They're not made anymore that I know of, but this is what it sounds like with this rivet machine here. So you hear that rivet sound. It's not like if you drilled it, it would be a lot more pronounced. But once again, I don't want to drill this cymbal because I love the way it sounds now. Whenever you do that, you'd have to put a lot of rivets in the cymbal to make it, you know, actually ring like that. And it's going to change the sound of the cymbal, and you don't know what it's going to do until after you do it. So you can buy two of them and rivet one and keep the other one clean and just use a chain or something like this. So I'm going to be right back here with a giant cymbal, a 30-inch Zildjian. So here she is. I don't know if you've seen one of these before, but they were made. There's an old ad I remember in Modern Drummer or something that had Philly Joe with some of these in the background. These were made, I think, in the 60s, I'm pretty sure. And it's an A Zildjian. It actually says medium on it. And I think I might have shown this maybe several years ago in a ride cymbal video. I'll have to go back and look. But it is a great sounding cymbal. So not too bad, right? Just really loud. It's got a little tiny bit of a hum. As a joke, I used to take this out to a jam session I did many years ago. I was the house drummer, and I just would take it out every once in a while and set it up. And when the other drummers sat in, you always just would like to watch their face when they sat in and played. But it did sound great. It sounded great. But if you're not used to a cymbal this big, it's like playing on a beach umbrella. Okay, so this is not one that I gig with, except if I want to get some laughs. I think these were mostly promotional cymbals, but it does sound good. I've actually done some recordings with it, really, really lightly. feels good to play on, and it's loud enough so you can play nice and light, and it projects. So I just wanted to share some of these cymbals with you. It's a lot of fun to play on these big cymbals, but the ones that are usable are the 24 to 26 flats. Can sound great. I definitely suggest you go into a store, or if it's online, you can buy them online. Just make sure there's a sound file. And just remember, it could sound different when you get it, depending on if they're EQing it or what kind of mics they're using to record it. It can flatter the cymbal. So listen with headphones is the best thing. Listen for any kind of pitched hum. It might have a little bit of a hum like this, but that's more like a white noise hum. It's not a straight pitch that would interfere with the music. So I'll play a little, and we'll see you next time.